Hey, guess where I am?
Um,
T- t-
oh,
Cole,
I know.
Cole,
Namibia.
look. No, no. Look at the background. Look at my background. Hey,
Uh,
by the way, this is an AI generated background. I typed in what I wanted.
oh,
You can do that now.
oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Isn't that a great photo? Why do I need a camera?
So you said a serene beach scene in the style of Cole Thompson?
No, I said a serene beach scene in the style of Joshua Cripps.
Ah,
Our good friend
uh,
Josh. No, I'm in Hawaii, bud. I'm in Maui, getting ready to head
wow.
up. Yeah, and getting ready to head on over to Molokai for our annual contemplative photography retreat, which is one of my favorite things to do, mainly because you're not there.
Hey, I wanted to mention you're near that beach where the shark attacks occur. And I swear by this formula: rub yourself with bacon grease before you go in. Works every time.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Well, you've had a place here for a long time, right? Or 10 years or so?
Yeah, man, a long time. Are
Yeah.
you up north near?
North Kihei. Yeah, I mean really
Oh,
north. I mean the first exit where
oh,
there's
you're in
nothing up here.
Kihei.
Yeah, really great.
Oh,
Actually, it's nice and quiet, but it's still only 3 miles down the road to, eat something. So, and
that's
I
up
ate
there
at
in
your
North
favorite
Kihei.
taco. What's
Yeah,
that?
up North Kihei is where they're having the real erosion problem. Some of the homes are starting to be eroded into the
Oh,
ocean. I don't know what they're going to do about that.
that's a problem. But I did go eat at your favorite taco place, and it was very
Las
good.
Piñatas.
Yes, it was good.
Yeah,
Hey, it's
good.
good to be with you, but people could care less about our banter.
I
So, so
don't know. Las
what's that?
Piñatas. I'll bet some who come to Maui might be interested in a good Mexican meal.
Yeah,
It's not in Kihei, it's in Kahalui.
yeah, that's right. That's it. Just up near, actually, right near Costco. Yeah, I think that's the largest grossing Costco in the Costco chain, by the way.
No.
I'm almost positive
You know,
that's
it
true.
makes some sense because everybody gets off of the plane and goes straight to Costco.
It is unbelievable. Hey, I did it. Okay, so here's what we're doing today. Uh,
Yeah.
a while back, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe more episodes ago, we touched briefly on a project that you've done that's incredibly moving, and that was a portrait of breast or Linnie. I think you call it Linnie, a portrait of breast cancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was a story for those. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say anything because what we're going to do in this episode. Last time it kind of came up as a side thought, and you just showed one photograph, and we were having a discussion about staying true to your vision primarily, right? And I brought up the fact that you didn't want to do this. And again, rather than go through that, let's just kind of turn it over to you. I'm going to let you go
Okay.
ahead and share your screen. So, we had
Okay.
a lot of good feedback from viewers on this episode, and specifically, people were interested to hear the whole Lenny story with all of the images that you have in your lecture that you do. So, go ahead
Okay.
and share your screen and share that with you. Yep, I can see it, so you're good to go.
Okay. Well, um, this is a project I called Linnie, a portrait of breast cancer. And just as kind of to put it into perspective where this all occurred chronologically, this is on the same trip that I was with my son Jem when we created
Ah,
the first image from the Harbinger series. Linnie was a customer of mine. She had purchased the Angel Gabriel. And about a year later, she contacted me, phoned me, and said that she had breast cancer, had a mastectomy, and wanted me to photograph her. And I have never done portrait work. I didn't have any experience. I didn't have any of lighting equipment. I didn't have any uh, the proper lens. I guess you're supposed to maybe be shooting at 85 millimeter.
yeah.
And so I just told her I really wouldn't be the right choice. And she says, I don't care. I want you to do it. And I think that came about because she saw how I treated the angel Gabriel. And I said, look, I really have nothing to add here. I've got no experience at all of this sort of thing. And she says, it doesn't matter. I want you to do it. And I even tried to get her to contact a friend of mine a woman who specializes in this type of photography. women with breast cancer. And she says, no, I want you to do it.
Sure.
And we just wouldn't let me off the hook. And I really put it off for as long as I could. But then my son and I were doing this father and son trip, and we were passing through Grand Junction, Colorado. So I agreed to come and photograph Linnie. So I stick my 13-year-old son into this room and I say, hey, just stay in there. And my first reaction was, she was bald from the chemo, but I found her to be beautiful and I found her to be very dignified. And but the other feeling I had was this is really uncomfortable for me.
Mm.
And I couldn't imagine how Linnie might have felt exposing herself to the world. And so I just had this way I wanted to portray her, and of course in black and white.
Yeah.
And so we just really shot in her house, shot out in this yard. We were out in the front yard even shooting with Linnie like this. It was she was amazingly relaxed and open about it all. And I mentioned in the last time we talked about this that I really wanted to know what her prognosis was, but I was afraid to ask that sort of question. I didn't know if that was something way too personal or if it would just ruin the mood of the shoot. But as we got near the end, I remember we were finalizing things and we got into her kitchen and I had my gear bag open and I was getting ready to put the camera away.
Sure.
And I finally kind of summoned up enough courage to ask Linnie that question. And I said, Linnie, what is your prognosis? And this was in August of 2008. And she turned and looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, I'll be dead by Christmas.
Mm.
And of course, everyone who watched the first episode, we talked about this, knows that Linnie did survive. She got into an experimental treatment program in Dallas. It worked, and Linnie's still with us. That was, oh, geez, now 2008 today. What's that? That's a lot of
Wow.
years ago.
Yeah.
And so that was the story of Linnie. It didn't really make me want to do more portrait work or anything, but I'm glad I did it. I guess the lesson I would take away from that is that pushing yourself to do some hard things out of your comfort zone still can be rewarding,
Yeah.
perhaps even more rewarding because they come out of an area that you didn't think you had any ability or talent in.
Couple of questions for you. Number one, Linnie's okay with you sharing?
Yeah, she insisted on it. She said that good would come from this work. And of course, she was saying that when she thought she was dying. I never really asked her what she meant by that, so I don't know. I could only speculate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the next question is, what type of preparation did you do knowing that you were going to do something that was uncomfortable and outside of your comfort zone?
Nothing because I didn't even know enough about it to prepare.
Huh.
I mean, I didn't go looking at other people's work. I didn't study on how to do portrait work. I mean, I didn't, I just went in with, as I always do. And some people, I think that it goes against them. They like to prepare. My best approach is to go unprepared and to see what, I guess, using some of your language, what speaks to you or what grabs you.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Cole, it's an amazing project. It really is. It's very moving every time I see it. And this was interesting because you added a few images I'd not seen before that are not in your typical presentation where this is included. But I just think it's testimony more so than any other project that I can think of that even you've done of how important it is to just show up and use your vision to create, because that's you clearly did. When you look at those images, some of them are really over the top spectacular for me at least. I mean, they move me. They cause me to kind of catch my breath when I saw them I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it. That's to me, that's the mark of incredibly good work done from right here again. I mean, you went in reverently, into this situation with a difficult assignment, with compassion, with dignity, with respect, all those things, and you come out with something that I got to believe she. So the last question, was she indeed happy with what you did?
Yeah, yeah. She got, of course, a full set of the images.
Yeah,
It's interesting because, as I said, that answered your other question, what preparation did I take? I could hear people thinking, you're nuts. You don't go into an assignment with no preparation. And
yeah,
yet, I don't know if that's just me, but that works for me.
yeah.
I don't know that if certainly if I would have looked at other people's work, that would have influenced me. And so it wouldn't have been really my work. If
Right,
I had even done research on how I'm supposed to photograph people, I mean, these are just window light or a lamp. I mean,
right.
there's no artificial lighting at all. It's just natural light. I think if I would have studied, it wouldn't have been any better.
Well,
So,
certainly again, something that you've taught me about is this word honest work. Right. Well, it still would have been good work. They probably would have been good images, but I know you well enough now that you would not have been comfortable calling them yours, or that you would not have felt that you created a body of honest work of Linnie and the portrait of breast cancer that you ended up with.
yeah, I mean, I've had my mentor at the time, the same mentor who I've spoken about before about the angel Gabriel and
Yeah.
cropping it. And she said it was interesting, and I hadn't noticed this that I when I shot a picture of her mastectomy that I wouldn't include her full face,
Oh,
and it just that's how it felt.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't that funny? I didn't even notice that. What's that say about me? Maybe I was so caught by the emotion and the uncomfortableness. Viewing them is not real comfortable, honestly. And I think that's probably where Linnie was getting at it. This is truth. This is reality. This is harsh. This is hard.
but I
And
do wonder what her objective was. That is interesting. Now that I think about it,
yeah. Are you still in touch with Linnie?
I haven't talked to her in a few years. I could reach out, but I do wonder why she wanted others to see it. Hmm.
Maybe that's a reason to reach out, and you'll let us know in a future episode of
Hmm.
this amazing YouTube show that's breaking barriers unknown to mankind. Hey, folks, speaking of that, make sure to subscribe, make sure to ring the bell, because I think what that does is it reminds you that there's a new episode. We really don't know,
I think
but
it boosts our check, the size of our check. I got a
that's
check the other day for 3 cents. I don't know about what yours was, how
why
much
did
yours
you get
was
more
for.
than me again? Why? I don't get that. I got 2 cents. Yeah. Yeah, we don't do this for the money. That's for sure. But we enjoy chatting. Hey, Cole,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing the story. It's a great one. And I have a feeling, once again, people will enjoy the process. Let me finish with this because I did have this thought, because you already alluded to it. Others would say you're crazy. Why didn't you prepare? I know I would have. I would have had to do something for me to feel even comfortable, remotely comfortable. Although maybe that's the old John. I think I might have a little more courage to do that today. Photographic maturity, I think, or confidence in my skills, I think is better today than it was last year and 5 years ago and 10 years ago. So maybe I could, but there's part of me that would have been scared to death like you were to start with. So to the audience listening, we're by no way is Cole or am I saying this is how you have to do it, go in. But I do think once again it's testimony to it can be done that way and you can have great results. So good work. All right,
Thanks. See you,
bud.
John.
We'll see you soon, and I'll see if I can find another beach.